Hey guys, welcome to Tomes. Now, it is no secret here at Tomes that I'm a fan of graphic novels, comics, all of those wonderful good things. It has been a surreal week. I don't know those of you who are fans of Iconic, you probably have run into this as well this week. It's just been one of those times where you're like, what? And here's why. Iconic Comics has consistently put out good books. You look at the collection, you look at the collectors. They are universally happy with what they are getting. They enjoy the content. They talk about the books. They joke around about it. They get fan art done. All of that stuff. It's a really fun community. It's very non toxic. It's hilarious. But what you got is you got people who just thoroughly enjoy Iconic Comics. Now, part of the selling point of something like Iconic Comics is it is cheap. I talk about this in my review for their newest thing. A lot of these comics that you're backing. So I'll show you my collection. So here's my library for what it is. I collect a lot of manga. I collect a lot of comics, and I've got to get some stuff out of my way. But some of these books, you could get full volumes of these. The cover price for this is $15. All right, so I'm getting a full manga omnibus edition, $15. All right, similar idea when you look at some of these Alita. I forget how much this one went. I think it was like 15 or $20. So cover price is 20, but again, massive volume. I understand how supply and demand work. Okay, I understand when you have more demand and you have the supply, the price goes down. Okay, I get those things. And the idea is with Iconic Comics, when you're dealing with these volumes, each one of these volumes goes for about $15, $10, and that is really cheap. Now, when it comes to pricing, like I said, totally understand how supply and demand and all of that is going to affect your price of books. But you got some of these comic book artists out there who are selling. Take a look at this guy right here. All right, this is FATL. It's a fun book. Okay, I will probably back the next one in this series if it comes out. But this one, cover price $25. Okay, little thin soft cover. It is a cool book. I like it. I'm a sci-fi guy, so this is worth it. But again, it's just not something that you can compare to the thickness, the quality, things like that. But again, they are able to negotiate and get their prices down. So this is a quality book. I enjoy it. I think Fatal's a good book. Go buy it. But this is good too. It's just cheaper. All right. I know there's a lot of people who love Narwhal. I have not read a lot of what they put out, but this is their Nosferatu. This is one of those living examples that if Alejandro Mirabal puts his cover on something, I grab it. But again, this one is a $25 book as well. And so you can see how thin it is here. Again, it has a very unique art style. I will completely admit, when you deal with Narwhal and some of the groups there, I'm not a fan of the art style. I'm not. So when it comes down to it, I probably wouldn't back that again. Not because it's not good storytelling, not because of the price point. I'm just not a fan of the art style. So I like the art style of like Vonster and some of these guys who put those things out. I would back some of his books. In fact, I'm waiting for Monster MD. I'm waiting for Terror in the Trenches. I probably will back his Psycho Killers. We'll see. I mean, it's again, it's about $30 for a 22-page book. But it looks like it's going to be cool. It looks like it's going to be quality. Again, I probably won't back Narwhal again. It's just I'm not a big fan of the style, but I wanted to bring that up because there's a lot of flack that is thrown at Iconic, like, oh, you just have cheap books, and I mean that's your only selling point. It really isn't. They have cheap books. They have books that come out on time. But again, you know, Narwhal's book came out on time. It did. I mean, he put this out. I don't know who Narwhal is. But they put it out, and it's great. It was on time. But there are more than just one thing you're looking for when you're looking to back an independent seller. Okay? This one, the reason I didn't back his Dracula campaign, even though I am just a diehard fan of Dracula, is because I didn't know what the quality of this book was going to be, and this book was late. And I was like, I just can't do it. All right. And so there's things that as you make judgment calls, you're going to have to make all sorts of judgment calls on your own. Is this something that you are willing to invest your money in to back this company? Has this person who runs this company proven himself to you? And there are a lot of things that as I look at the various comics that I've backed and the graphic novels, that there are some that are day one backings. I will back it on day one. All right. Iconic Comics. Now, if it's the Common America, I will back it on day one. If it's Soul Finder, I know he doesn't do it, but I would back it on day one. If it's Black Ops, you better believe it. I mean, Black Ops is my favorite of their series. I'm going to back them on day one. That's what I'm going to do. I trust them. I trust their storytelling. I trust their quality. I trust their art. So I will back them on day one. Doug TenNapel's another one. If you look at Doug TenNapel's work, there was a little bit of lateness with one of his his more recent ones here. I believe it was the leather bound or maybe one of these. But if you read the account, I mean, the reason it was late was if it could have gone wrong, it went wrong. And so you listen to some of the reasons why. He was like, the forklift driver drove in and stabbed through the pallet of books. Yeah, you can't send those out. And you've got all this stuff. And so even though his were a little late, like just a skosh late, it really wasn't that bad at all. I just happened to buy like the whole bulk, and so mine was one of the last ones to ship out. I trust him. I will back this day one. I will back Doug TenNapel stuff day one. It helps that it comes with a commemorative patch for day one backers. There's also another guy. I have not read his stuff yet. I've backed it. I'm waiting for it. But Vonster, I believe it's Rise Again Comics. He does Terror in the Trenches, Monster MD, things like that. I think I will like his stuff. It looks really good. His stuff's a little bit late, but creators, can I give you a point of advice as someone who backs stuff? Communicate with your people. And he does a really good job of communicating. He does, like, just recently, he posted another thing and he said, hey guys, I'm late because there was an error in the printing. That's not his fault. So I don't really care if you're late. I really don't. If you're 2 years late and you keep making excuses, I do care. All right. I made an agreement with you. I give you money. You eventually send me a book. I'm backing and supporting you. However, if you don't think you're going to get it done in like the 3 months time that you said, and it's going to be 2 years, well, just tell me why. And so that's my thoughts on a lot of this independent comic stuff. And so when I use the reference of Iconic Comics and what they've done, it is not just the cheapness of the book. It's not just the quality of the book. It really is. It comes down to the communication. It comes down to these are guys who care about their fans enough, and they're not unique. It's not just them. Okay. Brought up a few other people. All right. There are people who will put out a quality book on time. That's just the frosting on the top of the cake. You could put out a quality book late, and if you communicate, nailed it. You could put out a cheap quality book on time, and as long as I'm getting what I paid for, got it. But there are people who put out low quality books, and they put it out late, and they come up with excuses. And so there is a certain comic series that I am still waiting on 2 years later. And I hear an update from that creator, about every 3 months, maybe. As much as I like the guy and as much as I like the comics, I probably won't be reviewing the comics. I probably won't back that guy's stuff anymore. It was just ridiculous. It's just laughably bad. Now, he found time to do all sorts of other projects. He found time to find an artist and a colorist for all sorts of other things. He just can't seem to do that one. Nah, not okay with that. And so, again, we as patrons of the arts, we as people who are supporting comic book artists, we are voting with our dollars. And we are looking at various people and we're saying, you treat your fans well, you give what you promise, you give it on time. And that is why, personally, I'm going to be a day one backer of Iconic Comics. That's why, personally, I'm going to be a day one backer of Doug TenNapel. Those type of things make me trust them and make me back them. There are others I might sit back and watch for a while. And then there's others I'm going to watch and I'm going to go, no, not unless your thing is so, so cool that I just absolutely have to have it. I don't trust you. And so, comic book artists, keep doing your thing. It's awesome, but deliver what you promise. All right, guys, this is Tome's little diatribe on independent comics.